Welcome to another episode of Business Over Bourbon, where we pour equal parts business knowledge and fine bourbon to make a truly memorable cocktail. Your bartender for the evening is Corey Perlman, who's a digital marketing speaker and consultant by day, and Jimmy Buffett impersonator by night. That last part's a lie, but a man can dream. And now, put your pencil in one hand and highball glass in the other. It's time for Business Over Bourbon.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to another Business Over. Hey, Jess. How you doing, man? Did I interrupt you?
You did. You interrupted me. This is what I do in the evenings.
Nice.
Come back to my desk and I sip some bourbon.
Well, thanks for letting me interrupt you for an evening. Welcome you and to the audience members that are, oh, dear God. Oh, my God. How was that?
Smooth.
Nice. Was that Woodford? What was that?
It was $2.99 a bottle.
Woo!
I don't know.
Man.
I'm sorry. It was actually my kid's jukebox. So it was just a prop. All right.
Oh man, you're gonna be a freaking blast to have on here, Jess. Hey, it's Business Over Bourbon time, everybody. Welcome again to another episode. Super excited to have you all listening and or watching, depending upon how you are on. This whole show is dedicated to drinking good bourbon and talking about good business advice and doing it kind of at the same time. And so I'm super pumped. Yeah, enjoy some more juice there, Jess. To have my buddy, my very good friend, Jess Todtfeld, on the show today, man.
My God. Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting. We're going to have some great business talk, but we've done this in person. Now we get to record it. You don't even want to know what happened in person.
Yes.
I guess I'll do the reveal
Let's do the reveal, man. I mean, well, wait. Before you do that, let me reveal you. Hold on. This guy, I gotta make sure people know who I'm talking to here. All right. So my buddy Jess here, CSP. So what does that mean? Certified Speaking Professional. Means he's been doing this a long time and is very successful at it. Spoken to brands. Excuse me for 1 second here. Jess, trained clients from the United Nations, IBM, JP Morgan, AARP, which neither of us hopefully are at that category just yet. We haven't hit that, Ben.
Getting closer, right?
USA Today, Land Rover, pretty much every Fortune 500 brand, LinkedIn, which is a really cool brand that you've worked with, and all in helping people and companies get stronger on the media and in the media, which I think is a really powerful thing that you do. And you've got an international best-selling book, which I actually have a picture of here, which I'm going to show at the bottom here, which is Media Secrets right here. I didn't
send one to you.
No, you did.
Oh
You did.
I don't have to go send one.
No.
I'll have to go send one to you.
That one's in my collection upstairs next to my bedroom. So that's why it's not here with me right now. But I do have. In fact, it actually could be behind me there. But it's a badass book. You're a badass guest, and I am honored to have you on the show, my friend.
Right back at you. It's very exciting.
Well, thank you. And we did this.
Good stuff today.
We did this like impromptu. I said to you like 2 days ago, I got this show. You're like, yeah, I'd love to do it. You're like, hey, how about next Thursday? I said, how about tonight? And you're like, I ain't got shit to do. So let's do it tonight. It's good.
Yes. I'm like, let's do it.
You ran out. You got bourbon. You didn't shave. Nor did I. But hey, it's Business Over Bourbon. You don't have to do that.
You don't have to do it.
It's 10 o'clock at the freaking night, man. Our kids are asleep. You don't have to freaking shave.
This is actually the home office setup. I hear them out there. So
yeah, and mine too, by the way. All right, so that's Jess. Now let's get into the bourbons. It's my tied for my favorite part of the show. Go ahead, do the reveal. What is our
reveal? Is Duke.
Oh.
We went with Duke today, and that is the Duke.
That is
right there
Duke.
On there.
That is the Duke. Yes, John Wayne. Hard to put a man, a myth, a legend like that on your bottle and not be a good bourbon, and we'll find out soon enough.
We're going to find out.
So go ahead and open that bad boy up. And while you pour your first pour, I'm going to just tell the folks really quickly how this all occurred with this particular bourbon. I was actually over the weekend at a friend's house, and we went to get a bourbon. I was looking for one of my local favorites, couldn't find it. And they said, hey, have you tried this bourbon, the Duke? And I said, I haven't. I told him about this show. And he's like, he was really excited about it, Jess. He was fired up about this bourbon. So he got us to try it, and here we go, man. This is it. Yeah.
Let's try it. We're gonna have it together.
We're gonna have it together, and I'm gonna give one little tip about. So you're drinking it neat.
This is not the iced tea that I just guzzled before.
So you're not gonna be guzzling.
To see your face. You're like, no, that's not how you do it at all.
Should I get a trash can next to this? I want to give you. There's actually 3 different ways at which you can drink this bourbon, and we're doing 2 of them. So you've got it neat, which is at room temperature, which is about what you're about to drink. I here have mine. You can already see it's gotten a little watered down because I've been sitting here for a little bit. But I have this ice ball that I've talked about before.
I love the ice ball.
Yeah,
I do have some ice over here.
Okay. Well, and you can wait on that, and I see why you're doing that. I've already tasted mine, I have to be honest, but I can get these at Tovolo. Now let me give you this first tip, Jess, that this person who told me, I said, I like my bourbon chilled, but I do understand why people drink it neat. He said, Corey, put it in the freezer. Now, most of us like, oh yeah, of course, put it in the freezer. But the reason I had thought not to do that for twofold. One is I thought it would change the taste. And 2, depending on the alcohol, it could freeze. Well, it doesn't freeze. You can put this in the freezer, make it chilled, just so you know, and not use ice for future reference, Jess. So I thought that was pretty
wow.
Cool. Those are the 3
and if you pour it in the ice cubes, you put some saran wrap and little toothpicks in it. You make little bourbon popsicles. Something you think about when you have young children.
Yes, nice. All right, man.
Don't give it to the kids, people. Bad idea.
I mean, they'll sleep well. That's well. Hey, we just lost another sponsor. Newman was talking about all the sponsors that we're losing on this show. There goes. We're not getting Parents Magazine. I mean, so on and so forth. So, hey, buddy, cheers to you, man.
Cheers.
First sip. What do you think?
I like it a lot.
Yeah, real smooth.
It's really smooth.
Yeah.
And now, Corey, when I was in Atlanta, his home city, he took me out to the awesome bourbon place, and we had all different ones. Really, I love just that smoothness. So warm inside. This is a good choice that you helped me out with today.
Thank you. Cheers to you, man. That was the Bourbon Bar at the Intercontinental Hotel here in Atlanta. It's actually where I developed my passion for bourbon as well. So shout out to that place. You all right over there? Second sip's always a doozy. That was that apple juice again.
Who put that out here? Oh, I did.
Oh, you did. That's right.
Wait, my people, get out of here. Over here.
Close your door. So as always, just in case this is your first show, I always let people know what constitutes or what makes a bourbon very quickly. Must be made in not just Kentucky, not Denver, not New York, not Florida, just the United States. So gone are the days where it can just be made in Kentucky. So last week we tried one in New York. This one actually is from Kentucky, but just so you know, it needs to be made in the United States. Jess, it needs to be 51% corn. It needs to be 51% corn. Must be aged in new oak charred barrels. Must be distilled to no more than 160 proof and entered into the barrel at 125 proof. And must be bottled at no less than 80 proof, Jess. And if you look at this bottle, we're close on this alcohol. We're close on this one. It's 88 proof. So I will tell you.
88 proof?
It's 88 proof. This is the lowest proof bourbon we've had on this show so far.
That's great.
Just so you know. I mean,
I realized
I would have
said just let's go for the one with the most alcohol.
But I'll tell you something.
Less carbs.
I think John Wayne, going into the guy on the bottle here, be say, hey, hold your horses, right? Can you do your best, John Wayne? We'll lose everybody.
Partner. It's wrong generation.
So, sorry, people. Yeah, it's awful, awful John Wayne impersonators here. But we will get more into the bourbon in a little while. But Jess, people aren't here just for the bourbon. We're going to tap into your brain for a few minutes here, brother.
Okay.
So
tap away.
I want to start with one of the things I'm most fond of about you is your ability to shoot what I would call sort of homemade videos, if you will. Yeah, okay, all right, please stop. No, just sorry, homemade video. Our views just skyrocket.
What happens when it gets me liquored up again?
Your ability to make homemade, non-professional, if you will, non-Steven Spielberg-esque videos, but still make them in an authentic, valuable, rich way. And again, this is most of the time via your phone. So my first question to you in our first sip category is, when you're doing these videos, and the one I saw recently, you were interviewing our friend Krista Haberstock, and you were walking around, I think Microsoft, I think you guys were at their headquarters, and it was a valuable, rich interview. And it was phenomenal. And I just want to I want you to pull back the curtain and talk a little bit about how you set that up, how you do it, and how you make phone videos look professional.
Fantastic. Well, and I don't know if you can grab some of that or throw clips in there, but basically it's this. I'll explain it, which is, first of all, if you're ever at a conference, for everyone who's watching right now, and you would like to meet everybody, a great way to do it is to videotape yourself interviewing maybe one of the speakers. And you can be in it. If you use a selfie stick like I'm doing, this would be pushed out a little bit further over here. So I have it, pushed back a little bit. And you ask them a bunch of questions. And actually, I always make sure to plug in. You can go on Amazon. You can get a special microphone. This one's called the Smart Lav, but they make a million different types of microphones now.
We'll put that link in. All these technology pieces you talk about, we'll put links in for it.
Perfect. Yeah, and you plug it in. You may have to use the adapter if it's the newer iPhone. And then now they make one with a big mic, where I think it's called the iMic. You can put it in the link, whatever the other one is. I don't walk around with that because it's shining a light too much on the fact that something's happening here. Hi, right. Corey, I want to tell you something. I think that I am Mr., that this is a real show that's so big, So instead, this is a lapel mic, and what I do is I just walk around and I do this, and it's not obtrusive. And then what I do is push this out a little bit further. And the one that you saw was what I like to call a walk and talk, which is a little interesting. So, hey, let's walk, and hey, what's going on? And it really looks like a camera person is walking backwards and videotaping whoever's talking. I would be willing to bet that somebody who saw that video said, it's good, but, there was jumpy or bumpy. And, to me, part of that is that it's just real.
Right.
What I will probably get, just because I like gadgets and toys and things like that, is some sort of
stabilization.
Stabilization, exactly, right. Mm-hmm. And what you do is you put it on there, and then it balances out any of the bumps. Steady hit, what they call it.
So just to review, and again, I want to make sure that we're mentioning what you're talking about for the audio as well. So that first piece that you talked about is it's the thing that extends, you extend your phone, you're holding the pole, if you will, and the camera is turned around. You see a lot of people taking selfies. They're called selfie sticks, right?
Yes.
And you're holding that as your
cheap now
person, right? Pretty cheap now. So you're walking with that. You had a lapel mic that was attached to the phone via cord. I know they have some Bluetooth type things like that. Those get much more expensive. Yours is actually attached to the phone. You're showing it right now. We're looking at each other as we go, which is crazy, and like some sort of crazy world there.
Right.
So far we've talked about the mic and the selfie stick in terms of what you had, and that was pretty much all you had in that particular video. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's all that I had. And then I thought in advance, you don't have to do this for other people, about the question. So my background is I'm a former TV producer, as a producer for 13 years at ABC, NBC, and Fox. And then I started my communication training business. And one thing that we did is we would do a pre-interview. So for the interview you're referring to, I had just seen Krista speak. So while I was listening, I thought about little moments that would be really interesting to somebody else. And I just wrote down little phrases.
Smart.
And I had a tiny little sheet of paper. I know in that interview, I think at one point, she says, where were we going with that? And she even peeks over at my little piece of paper that was just in my hand.
Yes.
And I could have done it without the piece of paper, but that's a great thing to look down and say, hey, you have this special word that you've coined or this special technique that you tell people about. And then sometimes I might say, or just say, and what's that about? And then what I did to make it go a little bit faster is I prepped her and said, this is where I plan to go. You can say whatever you like. Mm-hmm. We can go wherever we want. I don't really think I'm going to ask you about other things unless you say something interesting, which also makes the other person feel calm and good that they have an idea of what we might say and that it's something that they can handle. The average person doesn't go into interviews all the time. It's not their main thing.
Well, let me ask you this question. Just take a step back for a second. Why would someone listening as a business owner or an executive, keep drinking, you have a second sip. Why would people want to interview other people? Like, what's the point? Tell me why, why would somebody who's listening right now want to interview their clients, prospects, things of that nature? Give us some context as to why it's so important.
Well, my take is you're going to show up in a bigger way to a potential client or your actual client, wherever you put it. One of the places that I placed this video was a Facebook group that has 20,000 people in it. Mm. And I don't know if all 20,000 people are watching it. And honestly, I don't really even care about that. But in my opinion, only good things can happen. I mean, unless you think you look terrible, unless you think that it was, dorky, or you asked terrible questions, or you made the other person look bad, then don't post it. But only good things can happen. For me, it opened up some doors for some hosting opportunities, and people see me out there. And hey, I got onto your show because of it.
Cheers, brother.
That worked out. See?
Hey, virtual clink.
Ding.
Ding.
We need you put the sound effect in post. No That's right.
In post.
Because of the whole team that you have that's working behind you.
I actually have a guy. I love this guy. I do.
Fiverr?
I'll give him a shot. Actually, I got him on Upwork. I actually had him
Put
do
it in the comments.
I had him do my goat video, Jess. Remember that whole goat thing?
Yes, I like the goat video. Goats were in his yard, people. You got to follow him on Facebook.
30 goats, all this kind of thing. And I'm like, hey, by the way, do you edit podcasts? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, done. And so he edits all my podcasts. Guy's amazing. So there, look at that. The little things.
I brought different backgrounds. I'm a former TV guy.
You are. You're
and then I
It's the little things, man. I appreciate that. So just to get back to that for 1 second. So part of it, at least I've seen from you, and I do this a little bit too, is by interviewing your clients, it's a value add. It's a win-win for everybody, right? So if we've got a business owner, and I always tell people, don't just have your clients hear from you at invoice time. Right? Find ways to build that relationship, strengthen that relationship. So if you find opportunities to interview your clients, it's a way to build rapport, that type of thing, and allow them to kind of be the star, so to speak. Right? I think that's an important part.
Yes, they're thrilled. And if you can think about where you can put it that would make your clients look great,
even better.
Yeah. And then ideally you really know them and know them well. And I tend to interview a lot of people who are not my clients. My thought is, you know what? Once we put this thing out there, a lot of different people who don't already know me will get a chance to know me. One thing I'll add for other people who, interviewing somebody else is not for everybody. But I wish it was, because I think it's fun to ask questions. We all have questions in us. But I think it's important to add your own personality into it as well. Have a little bit of fun. Don't say anything that's rude or jokes that I always say, if in doubt, leave it out. So if you're thinking, gee, is this on the one? Forget it. Don't put it in there.
The problem is the more we drink this, the less chance it's in doubt, right?
Something's going to happen, people. I don't know what it is.
Hey, all right. So I'm going straight up. No ice on this particular question here. So that's perfect for what you're sipping.
Yes.
This is a question I didn't think I was going to ask you. Well, go ahead.
Can I add some of the ice? It's melting over here.
Yes,
and I
go ahead and add some ice. Now that we've gotten to that category, you better take a sip on this one because this is going to put you on edge here. You didn't know this question was coming. Are you ready?
Yes.
How do you make people feel so comfortable in interviews? And I'm serious about this question. You have it's like a sixth sense with you, man, that you enable people to be very relaxed. And there's got to be some tricks. There's got to be some tips. There's got to be some strategies that you do on that.
Bourbon. I give them bourbon right before.
Nice.
I think what it is, so as a media trainer, I teach people how to be in interviews. And nowadays with the internet, there's so many more opportunities or times where people can come up to other folks with a cell phone at a conference. But when I'm interviewing them, that's exactly, I want them to be as relaxed as possible. So giving them a sense of what I'm going to ask and a basic idea helps them to feel comfortable. Giving them a sense that the idea is I want to build them up. I want to show that they have great ideas that they can share with people. That usually looks good. And then about 17 years ago, I did stand-up here in New York. And it's an extra skill to pull from. Mm-hmm. And I did some improv work too. And so if I can just be cute with them, if I can make them laugh a little bit, that's usually nice. And then you'll see sometimes people will play along and they'll have a good time. And that's always great when they do because it looks like everybody's having fun. And then the other piece is to always be looking to add value. So this beginning piece has been about how to conduct a great interview, being the interviewer. Mm-hmm. So think about what really adds value to the audience. So when Corey was referring to the interview he saw, this was about, for us as speakers, Corey and I, this was a woman who runs a speaker agency. So what's an agent versus a speaker bureau? And what are all the inside secrets of how you can kind of get in with them or how they think? So that's what we all want to know. And honestly, that's what all of your people, your prospects and your clients want to know. They want to know secrets. Who do they want to know secrets from? That's who you can interview. And you can do it, you being people at home, you can do it via Skype. We happen to be using Zoom today, but you can do it via Skype. And Corey will put in there, there's a thing called a call recorder, and you can just record it. You can just do it via audio. You can use one of the many free conference calling services. I like Uber Conference because it's super easy.
Nice.
Yeah, I use that one. They have nothing to do with the corp people.
Yes. Every resource we've mentioned so far, we only get 60% of everything we sell. That's it. Nothing.
You actually should put affiliate on there.
We'll make like $11. That would be awesome.
I know. For bourbon.
Hey.
You need a bourbon fee.
I want to let you know, Jess, that
business expense.
I want you writing that off. I want you.
I already use my business credit card for it.
Good man. God bless America.
Right?
No offense to any other country, but in our tax code, we can write this bourbon off.
And every year around this time, my accountant will say to me, "Really? Why is this on here?" And I'll say, "It is because it was a part of a thing." And if they come after you,
hey,
don't bring me up.
Yeah.
I didn't.
They're like, Hamilton tickets again? Really? Jeez.
It was for a friend.
Right. Who happens to be a client.
In the U.S. government.
All right. So I'm going to switch. Nice. I'm going to switch gears for just a second.
He's vice president. He needed tickets. I set him up. Whatever.
They
gave him a hard time. I don't know.
This is what I pay you for, CPA. All right. So again, as this person, this is a little bit of a review. What do you think of the bourbon? Tell me about the more you sip it. What do you think?
I'm so happy. So when last time you and I saw each other in person, which was in San Francisco, what did we order? Do you remember what you ordered for the table? and it was a little spicy for me.
Yep.
And there was no ice. I'm trying to find ice. The ice water didn't have ice, and I was looking for some ice. Just
it's a little intense. I won't name it. I remember it, but it was probably one that we will be reviewing soon. So stay tuned. But yes,
I'll put it in the notes.
Yes,
that go below. But great. I am going to get this again.
Good.
And
the thing about this one, Jess, that I've noticed compared to some of the other ones we've had, probably the smoothest. I remember when I first took a sip of it, and I've mentioned that a couple times, but I think I like a smooth bourbon without a lot of bite, and so do you, I think. Is that a fair?
Yes. Yeah. Love it. Is that okay?
It's totally fine. It's fine.
Is that manly enough?
Yeah. I mean, I think that the more you dive into bourbons, probably the more that your palate will appreciate probably a spicier or more, I don't know, intense bourbon, but this one's definitely smooth.
Right.
Folks that I've researched on this bourbon have mentioned honey notes, smoky flavor, ginger, and burnt sugar. Again, I mentioned 88 proof, which is lighter on the pendulum on bourbons that we've tried. And again, they're putting a very famous man.
What? I'm by satellite now from New York.
Say, I know it's like you're in the Daily Show. I'm in Istanbul.
It's right where I am. I wanted to see if I could surprise him today.
Oh, hey! Is that Atlanta?
No, it's New York City. That's the Empire State Building over there.
Oh, is it? Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Yeah, there it is. Oh, there's the little pointy thing.
Pointy thing.
And the only other thing I want to mention before we move on about this bourbon is always about price. And so this bourbon costs $100, and I'm just kidding. It only costs around $35.
Yes. Mine was $29.95. But what I did notice.
Wait a second. Yours was $29.95?
We must have been on sale here on
Wow.
Long Island.
Nice, dude.
Which is not right in New York. But what I did see, I wanted to bring this up to you. This is Fleischmann's.
Okay.
It was right next to it.
Okay.
And you see the price on there.
Woo!
$11.99.
Future episode.
You and I
Yes.
are both of the tribe. We're Jewish.
Yes.
And Fleischmann. Now wait a second. Blended whiskey. It was in the same section.
Okay.
Blended whiskey.
Okay.
Are you aware of Fleischmann's? Have you had it on?
I have not. If we have anyone listening right now who has ever had Fleischmann's blended whiskey, it was in the bourbon section?
It was just bordering.
All bourbon, Jess, is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Yeah, I think this was right on the line here.
Okay. All right. Please write in, email, text us. Let us know what you think about Fleischmann.
Yes.
Is it worth the $12?
I think is it bad? Am I some sort of a lush that I'm going through this fast?
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, we're going to get more out of you today. We're going to get all the secrets, all the secret sauce out of you. All right.
Hey, let me ask you this: if this is proper? And I don't know the ratio of bourbon conversation to business conversation.
Doesn't matter. Nobody's listening anyway.
When my wife and I, nobody's listening. Well, we're recording it now, so they're not necessarily listening yet. When we sit there and we have hard liquor, we usually pour it out into a shot glass, then pour it into one of these glasses. Then we have an idea of what is going on.
Well,
so
why would you do that?
Why can't I function? Kids, get back on the bed. Am I the only one who does that? Is that a thing?
I mean, you are. Go ahead. Leave New York City. Come back to the burbs. Thank you very much. Yes. You are definitely the only person that puts it in a shot glass before, especially at home. You're a nerd, and that's okay. I am too. I know my own. I can smell my own. It's totally fine. Where's your shot glass? Go ahead and put your shot glass. Yes.
I didn't bring it.
Oh, okay. But I will tell you that the reason.
Come in.
Who is that?
You'll see. Come in here, Miles.
Oh, geez. Here comes your kid. Let's see.
Just to keep it real.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, kids nowadays don't care about Miles. Come here.
Is he FaceTiming you from the next room?
Knows that I'm doing a recording here. I don't know how to shut this thing. So,
were you getting a phone call from your iPad?
No, he was doing Find My iPhone because this is forget.
Jay, is it gonna blow up?
Come here.
Call him a name. Call him like what you really.
Now you get to be on camera. Look, when you see the face that he made.
Hey, Miles, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hi.
So this is like king now. You care more about this than television, right?
Miles, question for you, man. Are you on any social media sites?
Not really.
You're not on any Snapchat, anything?
Snapchat, but
a little bit.
Use it that much.
And
hey, give us the inside scoop. Give us the inside scoop. Is Snapchat gonna last? Yes or no?
Yes.
He's smart enough to pick one and make a
double down
prediction. Because what are you going to come after him and say it was wrong?
Hey,
5 years from now.
I believe you, man. You got the finger on the pulse. That's awesome.
Here's it on his pulse. Technically, he's 11 and he just got Facebook. 13 is the real age, but that's something else. But you did it because
I got it for an app that it needs like Facebook, so I can be friends with my other friends on the game.
Okay, Miles, another question for you, because everybody that's listening wants to know from a young man like yourself, in 5 years, do you believe Facebook will still exist?
Yes.
Thank God.
All right,
Thank
will.
you very much.
I would agree. They sell stock and everything.
Yes,
it's
good
pretty
to know.
bad when you go away.
Do you know any social site that we don't know about that's like up and coming besides? What's the next Snapchat?
Is it Musically? What do you think?
No,
Little girls like Musically.
Is not going to be that big.
Whoa. Jess, can you let him have the chair, man? This is way more valuable than anything you said.
I'm done. Wait, I have a question for Miles.
Okay, go ahead, Miles.
Miles, why are you still up? It's late at night.
Homework.
He does have homework, Dad.
Is working right now.
Dad's working right now, right? Nice.
This is what Daddy does for a living.
Yes. Waste time with his friends drinking apple juice.
I even took one of your sippy cups.
Yes.
Your whatever.
Sippy cups. Sorry, Miles. He didn't mean sippy cup.
Yeah, it's not a sippy cup. That was when you were little.
Hey, Miles, do you think you can get Nike? Do you think you can get Nike as a sponsor for us, man?
Yeah, come in. We're gonna get Nike as a sponsor because
one more time, $100,000, Nike. We'll get Miles back on. $100,000. It's all you, man.
Hey, people, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Jordan.
Dang.
All right,
damn. See you, Miles. Good talking to you, buddy.
So let's talk a little bit about image.
Yes, let's talk. Nice transition. Let's talk about image. We're lucky, Jess.
Yeah.
We live in the era that we live in right now, as you are shaving live on the show. For those of you who are listening in, Jess has taken his electric razor and is now shaving live on Business Over Bourbon. We just want to let that settle in. Wow, look at you. You look 10 years younger, bro.
Look at that.
Look at you. Can I borrow that? Wouldn't it be awesome to like, bam, and I start shaving?
We should have planned it. Why didn't we plan it?
Tell me.
I always feel like I'm vacuuming my face.
Yeah, it's amazing what comes off, isn't it?
It's amazing what comes off. But when we talk about image, because it's related to the stuff that I do.
Please.
I think it's important for people to be real. And it's funny. I have a friend, her name's Sylvia LaFair, and she's written books about leadership. And she, in her workshops, she says people should open their heart, but opening your heart's not spilling your guts. So you should be real, but there are limits, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean like, Corey, I had this meal that was hurting my stomach. You're not going to believe. No, don't tell me anymore. I don't care.
Right.
I don't need to know.
Cross the line.
So, I can show up. I could be unshaven for part of the interview. Now look at Corey. Look, he's unshaven. Come on, you didn't prepare, man. And
I actually did prepare. I actually shaved today. That's the crazy thing.
Oh,
I
but
did.
it's evening.
What do you got going on over there? No, I'm not one of those guys. Yeah, tell me what you're doing here. What is going on? Yeah, come on.
Now, look, I do.
Don't leave any of the secrets out here, Jess. Be real. Tell me what's going on here.
I'm being real.
All right.
This is a little bit of Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse. It's just foundation.
Okay, and
matches my skin tone.
Okay, I want to let people know because again, we're looking at each other, and I'm fairly new at the podcasting thing. A lot of people might be listening.
Yeah,
Jess is applying foundation to his skin in front of the camera. For those of you that are listening in, what kind of foundation is it? This is if you were, and yeah, it is making
Maybelline, but it's just whatever matches your skin. So if you're going to do on camera work,
that's impressive, dude. That's impressive. I was
going to say Corey's mouth just dropped open. I do this for CEOs. Just when we do a one-on-one, I'll say, you see me on camera now, which normally I am shaved. And
you did it intentionally,
and I look a little bit better. And they and obviously that they make special makeup for under your eyes, concealer, and all that stuff.
Why'd you have to point at me when you said under your eyes?
But if you do just this,
how about some chins? Is there something I can do to hide my chins?
I find shaving helps to get rid of a bunch of extra chins. Now, I look a little bit more presentable. I think I use the slightly brighter one. I have a second one over here that's darker, depending on.
Dude, I'd hook up, man. You look good. You look really good.
Look, this is totally happening in reverse. As the interview goes on,
you're like it's the Benjamin Button of interviews right here.
This is a very strange interview that we have going. I love the Duke.
You love the Duke. So you put a little foundation on from an image perspective. Talk a little bit about social media image. Talk a little bit about consistency in your social media profile picture, things of that nature. Do you want it to be casual? Do you want it to be professional? What's your 2 cents on that one?
I think people have to figure out how do you want to be seen?
Yeah.
So it's funny. It actually, my wife always says to me, why is your personal Facebook page, why is it really business? So it took her like 5 years to be like, forget it. It's just business, because she knows the real Jess. Rather just cut up and make jokes the whole entire time, because that's fun. But, I have a sense of what I'm putting on there. So I have a professional shot of me, and then there's a shot of me in front of a large audience, which we know if we want to be booked in front of a large audience, you have to put out images that look like what you want.
I totally wholeheartedly agree with you on that. It's you thought I was going to go the other way. I did that to you intentionally, but
I didn't know where it was going to go.
Or you go to Facebook and you see that big cover photo. Show people what you do. Show people what they can buy from you, right?
Yes. And you know what? I know there are some people that, they put a picture of a flower.
Right.
No. And listen, I understand that. I'm texting my wife. We're going to see if she'll come in.
What's going on here? Going to have the showcase.
Well, she's my business partner. I said, you have to be here for this. So, but
she will improve our ratings tremendously. So I'm all for it. Invite her.
Well, I didn't tell her to wear a swimsuit. Come on.
I told you to wear a swimsuit.
That's true. You did every time I see him.
Yes.
But yes, our Facebook it's all of social media. It's an opportunity to let people know what you're doing, not just what you ate, and it's okay to put on what you ate, but also where you're going, what's happening. I've seen people post. There's a funny saying that I've seen on there. My wish for you in the new year is that your life is as good as it seems on Facebook.
Yes.
So obviously, social media is a heightened. This is your category. It's a heightened level of what this is. I'm not going to be as coherent. I'm on my third shot over here. Son of a.
It's okay, man. It's all right.
But it's a
preach.
Level of. This is how I'm going to do the rest of the interview.
Okay, tell people what you're doing. Tell people what you're doing.
I just, I I needed to get these things off my chest.
Oh, God.
It's a bigger version of ourselves, where I was going with that. And, you want to mix in, if you enjoy inspiring things, mix it up with that. There are different rules. You probably heard even more of what percentage of pure businessy stuff versus, hey, this is, I like to put things on there, me and my family. I like my family. And it's nice to show, the real parts. And this weekend I went with my son, Miles, who was just here, and the Boy Scouts, and we were backpacking into the woods and camping. And then people will sometimes comment if I put a picture of, I got there and I realized we can only use this latrine and it's awful. And why? Nobody told me that beforehand. And, people are talking about it. And then I go back into business stuff. I think people want to see, who you really are. I was just watching, and I don't want to date this, but Jimmy Kimmel, a clip of him, I'm talking about.
I do.
So obviously he's known for being funny. And he had a new baby, and he told a story, an emotional story, had some funny moments about how his brand new baby, they detected a heart issue and it had a happy ending, the baby's okay, and that they did some surgery and found whatever. But it was very emotional and very real. And I'll tell you, I liked him so much more that I found out a little bit more about who he is. And that it's not just all, hey, this is what I do, and you can never really know. I liked Jay Leno. He was seems like a nice guy, but I couldn't really tell you much about his. I'm taking the high road. I couldn't tell you much about his personal life.
Oh man, I love what you just said. And a great contrast of stories. I mean, and we could be wrong, right? Maybe we never saw a Jay Leno side that maybe other people did. Last night or 2 nights ago, or whenever it was, Jimmy Kimmel, is just so authentic and so real. And it doesn't take away from his humor. It doesn't take away from his show, but it shows another side of him that makes us as dads, makes us as parents, makes us as human beings appreciate him even more. And I thought that was an amazing example. The one thing I want to mention to you, I completely agree with you about authenticity on social. I had my largest client call me up one day, and I say this in my audience all the time, and say, Corey, before we get started, I want to let you know how much I enjoy watching you be a dad on Facebook. And I was like, that's kind of an interesting thing, wow, I was so taken aback. I didn't even realize that people keep drinking, because I'm gonna make you cry in just a second. You about have drank that half that bottle. People are appreciating the human side of who we are, besides the fact that we provide them a service. And if you are on the fence about whether or not you should friend your VIP clients on Facebook or in other social media sites, boy, Jess will tell you, and I will tell you that the benefits far outweigh the disadvantages or the negatives.
They do. People they like you more. They, they see you as a real person and not just as a vendor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a vendor. We'll send you the form you can fill out and do it. It becomes, wow, Corey's a real person. And I've seen you've put images where you're sitting there having a tea party with your daughter, and you're like, yeah, I'm having a tea party.
You got a problem with it?
Yeah, that's what you do. I'm liking every moment of it.
That's right.
He's got a very, very small hat.
Yes. It's not a yarmulke. It's actually a princess tiara.
It's a princess tiara, and I wear it well.
Yes, dang it.
It's totally acceptable now more than ever.
Yes. Modern day, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, you did date us a little bit with that Jimmy Kimmel mentioned, so that when people are watching this when we're dead 150 years from now, thanks a lot, by the way.
Current President Carter said
yes. Nice.
How are they recording this?
Oh my God. Right. Yes.
So yeah, image. I think that it's the whole package, and a lot of our speaker friends would agree with this. The more you show the real you, the more people seem to like you. I mean, I guess unless you're a jerk, but there are jerks who tend to turn that into their brand. That's a little off of what I'm used to working with. Although, a little secret, I worked at ABC, NBC, and Fox. I usually leave this off, and I pulled it from my bio.
Ooh.
But in 1996, for 2 years, I worked on a TV show called The O'Reilly Factor.
Wow.
Yes.
So good talking to you. Next week we'll be. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Now, I mean, even at the time, I thought, he was pompous, and I remember thinking, you can't write a character like how he is on camera and off camera. But apparently you can, because Stephen Colbert did a great job of milking that into a 9-year career. His career is even bigger now. But and he'll get whatever he deserves for everything that he did. But I don't want to be associated. But you had me drink 3 shots of bourbon, so I'm sharing. But usually I leave that off the bio. I don't want to connect with it. Why did I bring it up?
Not off this podcast. He will not leave that off this podcast.
Why? I mean, let me rephrase that. Why? Why did I bring that up? No, I brought it up because, you know what? The more you play into who you are, the more people seem to like it. And obviously, or a lot of you can look at your lives, and there are people who know and like you and love you for certain personality traits in your life. How can you bring that and let it be part of the public you?
Again, we don't do mic drops on this show. Yeah. We do bourbon toast. Hey, look, I'm bringing you back, dude. You did not just totally say nothing. You said something really, really valuable. I totally agree with you yet again. What did you say? I'm trying to remember what the hell you just said.
You should do an after show where it just really, it makes no sense. And then that's the whole show.
Yes.
You just never air this part. Just by the time everybody has had a lot of bourbon.
Yes.
And you're like, wait till you hear what my cousin did once.
Yes.
This is his name.
Yes.
And he married our other cousin.
So back to image.
He lives on 4 Maple Street.
You said though that you I get the question all the time. David Newman and I talk about get the wifey coming in.
I want to hear what it is. I want you to meet.
I smell bourbon from the other one.
I want you to meet my business partner. Wait, come this way.
From the other room.
I'm bringing.
Actually, I heard his big mouth. I said, "What is this business going on?" All I hear is him hollering.
Sorry, that'd be me. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
This is my business partner.
Hey,
Joanne Todtfeld.
Joanne,
who has been training for the marathon. And
why I look like a slob.
No, we can only.
No, you look awesome.
Okay. No, you look wonderful.
You do.
See, I'm trying to be real. That's why I invited my better half.
Oh, sharing bourbon. So this is Duke bourbon.
Nice.
Do you want it neat, or do you want, I shouldn't yell into the microphone.
Or over ice? Would you like ice or over or just neat?
Oh, there's no more ice.
Okay. Well, you're gonna drink it neat. Take a sip. And just know what you think.
Smooth with a bite at the end.
Wow. Nailed it. Yeah, that's exactly what we've been saying all along.
Now, Corey's wife is named Jess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm named Jess.
Uh-huh.
And now my wife was formerly Joanne. Now you're on your Corey.
Corey with an I.
I'm a nice person.
Okay, she saved it. She made it work.
Damn. So what Jess was just saying, Joanne / Corey, is that, when it comes to public figures, you have to be real. Mm-hmm. So David Newman, Jess, asked the question recently, should you curse as a speaker or not? And I think the answer that most people came up with is if you curse as part of who you are, if you curse as part of sort of your makeup, then sure, be who you are. But if I jumped on stage and started doing my Gary Vaynerchuk impression and, fuck this and blah, 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 it wouldn't work for me because it's not me, right?
I can't believe you
Also,
cursed.
shouldn't it be appropriate for your audience, though? You could offend a lot of people, even though that's you.
Yeah, but certain people get away with it. He was mentioning Bill O'Reilly earlier. We went there. Yes, we did, Joanne. And I think part of the reason people are so successful is that they are who they are, right? So I think
People
that's
like that. Yeah, they are very entertained by people who aren't afraid to be themselves, whether it be good, bad, or ugly. Sometimes.
We're so lucky that and that's what we mentioned in the beginning of the show, Jess, that we live in an era where authenticity matters, realness matters, and the more you are who you are, the more people seem to want to watch.
Or you can tune them out if you don't like them. If you don't like their ideology, or you don't like what they're saying, if they offend you, you have the right to just not watch them.
And there's some people that say what they think, and they're either vilified or people take sides, and then they'll find their core group. I mean, there are 8 billion people on the planet, and all you need is one little sliver to connect with that is either your right fit or prospect or your fans, depending whatever it is that you're doing. So yeah, I mean, we can be free to be who we are. Are the kids asleep? Because I don't want them to be too free, like at school. F this, and I don't care.
Because it's who I am.
I heard my dad last night when he was drunk. All
right, so Joanne, I'm going to have your husband impress you before we wrap up tonight, and then I'm going to let you guys enjoy your evening and with your man who's now 3 bourbons in.
Is it still?
How many of those have you had?
Well, I didn't measure. I told him that when we have drinks, we'll pour in a little shot glass. We have an idea of
Sorry, Joanne.
Level of
we want to make sure to figure things out.
He will not be going to work tomorrow.
Work is going to be right here. If I'm not out on the road and speaking, then I can just sit over here.
I love your background, Corey.
Thank you very much. Got a little guitar, a little books behind me. Media Secrets is back there.
Social media overload. You see it over there?
That's over my shoulder over here.
We have 2 copies.
Yes, we have
two copies.
Yeah, I bought one on Amazon. And I brought it to the beach. Then I lost it because it was in the beach bag. Then I said, I want to read my friend's book.
Hey,
I figured, I'm helping him buy another.
If you could be the story, if you could be the book that was lost, where do you think it is right now?
Well, it turned out this is going to be really wild. It was in the beach bag.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Because I had too much bourbon. And then, but I bought it twice. I figured, if I ever tell Corey, he'll be happy I got a second one. And I'll give it to somebody.
All right, Joanne. So here we go. The moment of the truth. As we wrap up this show that we're almost up to an hour because it's been so damn good and people are so riveted by everything we've been saying.
Hopefully.
Jess or Joanne or both of you.
She's heard. She's seen this act way too long. We've been married for 17 years.
Okay, real quick.
Acting? This isn't really love?
Joanne,
you heard it
makeup or no makeup on him? Quick, now. Makeup or no makeup?
Makeup.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, she's not even joking?
He looks a little cadaver-like in real. I'm sure he looks wonderful on the camera, and I probably look like I need makeup. However, he looks like a cadaver.
Wait,
you all may tweet that.
I've done Facebook Live.
Looks cadaver-like.
I've done Facebook Live, and she texted me, "Really? Are you not wearing makeup?" I'm staring at it.
Hashtag cadaver-like. Hashtag cadaver-like.
Difference.
Yes.
When you're on camera, so I probably look a little washed out and.
Well, you have some makeup. You look very nice.
I think she looks very nice. On,
you look like you're an athlete, is what you look like.
All right, though that would be true.
She was training today.
A novice.
I rode the bicycle next to her very slowly.
He did.
We have to end this podcast at some point tonight.
Damn it.
Let's end it.
I'm sorry.
Let's end it all.
Okay. What is your last sip? Yeah, we could do that. What is your last sip? What are your takeaways? What are your action steps? If you had to give...
He's trying to get me drunk.
Yes. Why not? Why wouldn't he? I mean...
We're married. That's why.
Married. Marriage. Mileage. What are your final takeaways for people who are listening, who are still tuned in? Imagine if they've come all this way. What would you leave them with?
This is my chance to bring it home. This is my chance to add value.
Whoa. Where were your eyes there? Easy there, Tiger.
Actually, honestly, I was looking at the microphone. I was looking to see, did I put, even with having a few bourbons, I think, did I put the mic on her?
Nice.
I put it on me. I put it back on me over here.
Sorry, everybody. Sorry. Okay, back to your moment of truth.
By the way, because we work together, is this harassment? Can she sue me?
I would like a raise.
Whatever you want. Because she really does a lot of the work. So I can't. Anyway. So we're going to bring it home. What are some of the takeaways? Takeaways are, as a communication consultant, you can sense stalling.
Come on, do what you do best.
Which is what? Blow hot air?
Pontificate.
She knows it.
Pontificate.
How do you think she falls asleep at night? I don't even know. This is a whole other show. Listen, everybody, I'm going to boil the whole hour down into 5 minutes that you could have heard if you just tuned in right now.
Can you make it 2.5?
We're going to make it we're going to make it 1 minute. All right. If you want to show up in a bigger way in front of your prospects and clients, you can interview them. You can make it super simple. You can use your phone. You can talk to them. You want to make them look good. Make them look good. Highlight the amazing things that they're doing. Make sure you have great energy when you do it. Make sure you have enthusiasm, like you're excited and happy to be there. Make sure that you get them, you pull them up on a pedestal, that you make.
I'm levitating.
It says Abbey Road on there. That's how I was reading what she showed up with. And you want to make them look good. You want to show your real self. Your real self. Come on. Why did you ply me with alcohol during this?
How do you mix bourbon and business?
How do you mix bourbon and business?
You know, Joanne, that is an amazing question, and I'm not sure I figured that out.
She's going to use it in the trailer for this now forever. So, I mean, that's something that you can do. We talked about being real. It's here's something else here. Be like Nike and just do it.
Oh, fuck, man. Oh,
started.
My God. Oh, Jesus.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Did you get permission to use that slogan?
I didn't. No, but what I mean is get started.
Okay.
People say, well, what if I'm not perfect? Go out there, just do it. And see how it is. You know, Corey, when he gets a few more podcasts into this, it's going to be way, way better.
No, it isn't. You know what? It's going to get worse because it's going to get more like crisp, and people are going to talk and give value and shit like that, and there's not going to be any fun. This is all about fun. I'm glad you're here, Joanne.
More or less, Corey. More or less. Because it's bourbon and business.
Damn, I like that. More or less. Hashtag. How would you hashtag that? More or less. Spell that.
MORALESS.
Maybe you put a hyphen in there.
I like it. More or less. Very good.
More or less. Yeah.
Joanne, you know Miles was on the show.
Miles was on the show. The only person who was not on the show was my almost 17-year-old son, Skylar.
That's right.
Who is thinking about becoming a YouTuber, something else for another day.
That's a hobby.
Yes. He went out and bought fancy lighting, that stuff I don't even have. And I have a New York City backdrop. People, you got to see it.
All right. So
I have one in our bedroom because sometimes...
All right, Corey's wrapping it up.
Leave us with some marriage advice. How long have you guys been married?
17 years. We've been together for 27 years total.
Here it comes. And?
Joanne was my prom date.
No. What's your joke usually?
Oh, we've been together for 27 years, married for 17, happy for 3.
Yes. You said that. Nice. What's the secret to marriage, Joanne?
Oh gosh. Cooperation.
Sexy.
I must cooperate.
So
I'm going to give a
Listen.
second. Here's a second secret.
Not only talk, listen.
Here's the second secret. She made sure that whatever, we've moved a few times, that my bed is closest to the wall. So you can't see whatever socks I kick off in the middle of the night.
That's true.
Because there were a bunch of years where she said, really? Just get them in the hamper. What's wrong with you?
Technically, I learned that the man is supposed to be nearest to the door so that he can protect.
But the Freudian slip there for those of you following along was he didn't say side of the bed. He actually said his bed, meaning that they were in separate beds, which hey, can happen, and that's okay, right?
I'm a big fan of I Love Lucy.
Oh,
they have 2 twin beds, and it's so great. And a Bobby Brady style line that goes down the center, and a sheet, and all that stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, this is either going to die in drastic, terrible flames, or it's actually going to be the biggest success I've ever had in my career. Either way, I'm glad to do it with you, my friend.
Ding.
Ding.
Thank you.
This has been another episode. I just spilled my drink of Business Over Bourbon. I'm going to put it down.
Cut off.
Yes, you can barely see my eyes. Hopefully, I'm still a client. Oh, geez, look at this guy. Oh, God.
Let me see.
All right.
Because you can't save yourself.
Kiss.
Oh, no.
All right. And that has been another episode of Business Over Bourbon. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Corey. People go out there, play big.
Love you, Jess. Cheers, brother. Duke. Sponsorship. It did its job, brother. It did its job.